learning full stack. So this is kind of a full stack engineering. What all these things that we've learned from the HTML and CSS, we are going to apply them in real life. So the program that we are going to be learning is one is Django. Django, which is a Python framework used for developing application. Then we're also going to be learning Django REST framework. So the one you can see here, the Django REST framework is a Python a library built with Django that you can use to build an API for app and for desktop. Then we're also going to be learning jQuery, so and also Ajax. So jQuery, we are going to be using them for our front end in order to carry out a synchronous request. You've seen when you visit a site, you click, the page will not load. It just show you loader, and then when it just it will like asynchronously without loading the page. So those dynamicness you see when you visit application, you are going to be using jQuery and Ajax to be able to carry out that functionality. So of course, jQuery is also part of a JavaScript library, but it is more robust than normal vanilla JavaScript. So we are going to be using another one called Axios. Axios is also a JavaScript library you can use in sending requests to an endpoint. So we are going to be building an endpoint. Then we use Axios to communicate to our Python Django URL. Then during the program, we have listed out some of the robust projects you are going to be building. Like I said, each cohort is required to come up with a project. You have the deadline to now to Wednesday to submit your project. Then we look at the best 4 or 5 projects that we are going to be building. But however, we'll be building a live voting application. So what I'm looking at here is that the live voting application I'm looking at is, let's say, the way people can come in and get access code to use and vote for their preferred candidate. Then as they are voting, you'll be seeing all the data. You'll be live streaming all the data. So hopefully we can build it to build a portal we can use for our next cohort election, whenever I want to do election. So it's going to be a very robust management application. Then we're also going to be building school management software, which some of the cohort will give us a document, DDoS document that we can leverage on. Then we also appoint some code that will give us a UI code, some code that will build the front end, and the back end will contribute generally as a class. Then, or possibly, if we do not have the whole time to contribute, I can use an already inbuilt software. Then we'll modify it and leverage on them. We're also going to be building a CMS platform, like a content management platform, like Facebook or blog, like a blog where you can manage them apparently like a WordPress. Maybe some people are saying WordPress, right? We are going to be building a software like WordPress where other people can install theme by themselves, and then possibly we sell it out. Then we're also going to be building LMS application, which is an online learning management system. So all this software that we're going to be building, it's going to be a collective effort, and we are going to be using all the documents, all these libraries I've explained, using building this robust application. Then we also build an endpoint. So this endpoint is like an API where if we want to convert the online portal to an app, we already have an API for it already. Then a front-end developer who uses a native app, a native library like a React Native, can then leverage on our endpoint to use it in building the back end of our application. They just build an endpoint front end for you. Then we're going to use our code at the back end. So each of these you are building, we're also going to be building an endpoint for that. So we also have restaurant ordering, how you can order product in restaurant based on location, based on GPRS. So if you are in Port Harcourt, for instance, the restaurant you will see is the restaurant close to your area. So we are going to be working with Google GPRS APIs. Then we're also going to be working on an online marketplace. So online marketplace is like a GG where people can come in and sell their fairly used products. People can access them based on location. Then we're also going to be building expense tracking application. Then, like I said, uh, some of the projects we will be building during this process, we are going to be leveraging them. We are going to be getting some of the ideas from each of the cohort group. So this is we are going to what we are going to be building during during this course. So we are going to be learning Django, and we heard a lot about Django, and what is this Django is all about. So like you can see here, Django is an open source. So if you look at the word open source, so if you look at I underline that word open source, right? Django is an open source framework. Now, framework, open source. Now, the word open source may sound unfamiliar to you. We are going to be looking at it in our next chapter. So Django is an open source framework, right? Powerful and popular web framework for building web application using what? Python. So it is a popular, right? The most popular web framework in Python you can use in building web application. It is designed to simplify the process of web development by providing ready-to-use components. It provides what? A ready-to-use component. Now, when we mean that it provides a ready-to-use component, now this is it. A framework, instead of you building something from scratch, let's say you want to create let's say permission, or want to restrict a user from not accessing a particular page. Let's say you have rules of users. Let's say you have an admin, you have a customer, you have regular user, or you have premium user, you have free user. Now there's already already built-in components in Django that you can quickly call upon, import, and use it to check if the user that is accessing a particular page is an admin or is a paid user. If it is not, then restrict that user access. So there's already built-in component already available for you to leverage on. Some people call it plugins, right? Some people call it what? Plugins. Now, one good thing about this already used component is that you can modify this component to field or to fulfill to achieve your goals. You can modify them to do whatever you want to do with them because they are open source. I'm going to explain what open source is all about and the word framework. So remember framework and open source. So I say it is designed to simplify the process of web development by providing already used component, right? Already to use component. So component that are ready, what you need to do is to use them. If you feel that this component it's not giving you what you want, you can still customize those components. Let's say you want to allow people to sign up in your application using Facebook or using email. You've noticed like if you want to log into your X, or you want to log into let's say a platform, any platform at all, you can see option for what? Sign up with what? Gmail, right? You can see option sign up with Facebook, sign up with Twitter. So if you want to integrate such, we call it a social media auth or social auth. So the name of the package you are going to use, or name of the ready to use component that you are going to use is called social auths. So those social auths are libraries that already been built. Instead of you developing it from scratch, they're already there for you to leverage on it and be able to achieve that purpose within a second. So So one of the already being used is what we call like to provide component ready to use components such as ORM. Now ORM stands for Object Relational Mapping. Does the name sound familiar? I think we have done this before when we are learning about database. So it is object relational mapping. So it is used to interact with your database. It is used to interact with your what? With your database. So it's already been used there. Now Django also have what we call admin interface. It has already built-in admin that you can use to manage your software. So whatever you are building, any component that you created, Django already building Django admin. You don't need to be worrying yourself in creating admin. You can quickly build the admin by yourself. It is there. You can quickly leverage on the Django admin interface for you. So let's say, for example, for that program now, if you're done building user interface, the user backend, and you want to restrict that user access, you need to create a different source code for that particular software so that the admin can have a different features in their own application. So this will actually take you a lot of time to finish the software. But Django already have that component for you. So immediately you don't be doing your front end, admin is already there for you to leverage on. You have something to say? Temple.
Yes, sir. I have a question, sir. Good evening, sir.
All right.
So you were saying that this in Django has like an admin panel that we can leverage on to give any or manage this in our users address. So, but now my question is in a scenario that you are building an application that has to do with will I say 3 admin panels, like one now the main one is,
let's say you have a teacher, you have student, you have HOD. HOD have superior power. Just okay, you have lecturers, you have HOD, and they have students. So HOD is more superior than lecturer. While lecturer report to HOD, they will now have what we call exam and records, right?
Now, hold on, sir. Now the HOD, in the HOD admin panel, the HOD is going to be able to see the students panel, be able to see the lecturer's own, and be able to see the exams and record. So as the HOD being the main overseer of the general admin
department,
now the HOD has the capacity and the ability to suspend either the lecturer from accessing the admin, or suspend the student from accessing the admin, or making a correction in the exams and record admin panel. So that's my question. So with the Django, it will be possible to build that kind of this in database, like multiple back-end admins.
Yes, with Django, you can achieve that 100%. Now, what happened here is that I want to show you something. What happened here in Django is that the Django admin only give you what we call a super admin. So what I mean by super admin, it is the father of all the users, whether you are HOD, whether you are this, whether you are that. If you're in a situation where you have multiple rules, you can create your own admin dashboard. Are you getting me? You can create your own admin dashboard. Then what that admin dashboard will be doing, like what we have here. Let me show you something. What we have here now. If we come here, we have 2 admin dashboard. So one of the admin dashboard we have here, this is a super admin, because this is not like the teacher. So when it comes to teacher, you see that in the teacher dashboard we have wallet, You can see how many students that have registered course. That registered that course. You can see how many students that have been admitted. You can see total registered students. Now, also here you can see list of students that have applied for the admission. You can also be able to see all the cohorts. Then when you also come here, you can see cohorts. You can delete a cohort. Are you getting me? You can even add a cohort. You can add students to a cohort. Now you also come to courses. You can see how many courses you have. Now let's move. This is like a teacher dashboard, not the super admin, not the owner of the platform. This is like a teacher dashboard or a
this is a teacher's dashboard.
Yes, this is a president dashboard. Let's just call it president in OTS. So you can see president can delete a cohort, can add a cohort. But in this situation, if you are not okay, let's say now I come here now. I copy this. Let's go back to our. So you look at this. This is you look at the endpoint. This is for normal students. Are you getting me? This is for what? Normal students. So you can see normal students. You only see the cohort. You only see a project. There's no way you can see those information we saw earlier. You don't have access to that. Now, if you try to visit the endpoint where you're a user, it's okay. I know the admin user. Let me try to visit it. They will take you back to login. Have you seen it? So you should log in. Then even though if you try to log in like normal user, try to log in as normal regular user, they will still direct you back to that user dashboard. Are you getting me?
Yes.
Are you communicating? Now, if you log out now and say, let me promote the user. Let me promote the user. I come to my super. This is normal. Let me go to normal Django admin and show you something. So this is normal.
Sorry, actually, for cutting in, please. Is it the class? Is it recording, sir?
Yeah, I'm recording the class here.
Thank you, sir.
It's okay. Now this is Django admin, the normal Django admin. I'm not the one that put this one. This is what Django give you. Django give you access to. But I don't use this. I don't use it. If you want, like OTS, this is what we're using in OTS. This current one, we use this, but I don't use this. The reason why I don't use it is because what if, like you said, what if you're having multiple admin? So you need to create your own. If I come here and say, okay, user, so this is super admin or go off all of them all, and I want to promote a user. When you come here, you will see all the users that we have on this. You see the username, the full name, and then verify. When you come here, you will see his staff is active. So his staff means I can create as much as permission that I need. I can see his president. Is this a president? Is it the cohort leader? If I come here now and decide to promote, let's say Mono, and click on this man, I decide to promote this man as admin. What I need to do is just come down here and put this Mono. Then after doing that, I scroll down and save. If you are saved now minimize this, and then come back to this man and remove this Mono and log in. When I log in, you notice that they are redirecting me to the admin. Redirected to what? To admin. They take me to the admin dashboard because I am admin. Are you getting me? So this is how you can differentiate playing roles and assign different responsibility to multiple users. So this is one of the things that Django gives you access to. In case you are lazy, you don't want to build admin, you can leverage on Django admin. Remember, it's a super admin. It is what? A super admin. So that is what it is. So let's go back to, I hope that is clear now, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Like I was saying earlier, the Django already have the admin user interface for you, right? It also come with what we call user authentication. So this user authentication has to do with reset password, forget password, send email model that have already built. So you have already built in user model, where you don't need to be creating your own user model already. You can use that user model that have all the authentication. So when you talk about authentication, it has to do with everything that has to do with the user. The login, register, forget password, permission. Like in a situation where you want to create this multiple permission, like you said, you need to customize it. Like the way I did, they now customize it. So you already have registration. So you can registration Django has the Django built-in registration it's only have username, email address, password. But if a user want to log in, a user must use the email address and the email address or username to log in. What in a situation don't want people to log in with the username, want them to log in with phone number, then you need to customize this user authentication model that have already built in by Django for you. So everything is ready for you, but whatever you need, you can customize it based on your needs. Now, the Django REST framework allows developers to focus on writing the functionality of the application rather than dealing with complexity of web process. So you can see Django framework allow you to focus on the main cocoa, the logic of the application, rather than all these small things that would waste your time. Those things are there. Just import them. The way you are using your SNTP, just import the SNTP and use the important models. It works, it satisfies your needs. But when you want to go more robust, then you can now focus on building more application. Now, remember earlier I told you about open source and web framework, right? So I said Django, like I told you, Django is what? Is a free open source word application. So the word open source is something that is free, available for anyone to use, modify, and contribute. So when you treat open source, it's a software that is what? That is free. Django is free, right? A software that is what? That is free. That the source code is free. And it's available for you to use, anyone to use. You can use it, you can modify Django. The way Django is, can modify it. If you feel like it's a threat for you, you don't want to use what the company have already built. You want to modify the software entirely to build what can most secure and robust application for yourself. You can modify the software entirely. And anyone can modify Django. Unlike Facebook code. Have you ever seen Facebook code anywhere before? Have you ever seen it? The answer is no. You can't see it to use, right? Have you ever seen a Twitter code before or YouTube code? They say, come, this is YouTube code. It's an give up, go and download the source code. Because it's not an open source. So anything that is open source is freely available for anyone to view, use, and modify. So now open source software is a collaborative effort where programmers can modify and share their source code for any purpose. This source code is released under a software license that allow others to download, modify, and share that code with the different versions. So you can create the code by yourself, create different versions. So Django is an open source. So when you look more elaborate about open source, you see list of software that we have as an open source, right? Python is an open source because it is free. Git that you are using, the Git that we use, not GitHub, but Git is an open source, right? We also have PHP is an open source. We have MongoDB, MySQL, WordPress. So open source means that you are not making money from the application, but you are making money from donors. Are we communicating? The application, everything there is free. You are not making any 1 naira from it. Only money you make is donor. Like if you come to Django now, let me show you Django website. Just type Django documentation. When you come to Django documentation, I'll show you something. And you can see donate, right? When you click on this donate, you look at, when you come to this donate, support this Django Software Foundation. So the source code is free. There's no way they are making money, but they are making millions of dollars every year. Now, if you look at their target for the year, so their target for the year goes for 2024 is how much? How much are you seeing here? Hello? Can anybody hear me? Hello?
We can hear you, sir. We can hear you. Go on.
Please, let's be interactive class, please. So, are you seeing how much for the year 2024? $200,000, right? They are good.
Thousand.
Yes. And so far, people have donated $94,000. So people have donated freely. So companies able to make a larger donation. You can see. You can also donate. You can see people cannot come here and choose any donation and donate. So open source software don't make money. It is open for people. Are you getting me? Then you can use it for yourself. Are we communicating? Are we communicating? All right. All right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let's
Yes, sir.
look at framework, right? In software term, what is framework? So who can tell us? Who can tell, aside my own definition that is here, who can tell us what is a software framework? Oga, who is that person writing down? Are you not? Hello? Stop that. I'm in the class. Who can tell us what is framework? Framework. Who can try? The guy.
Sir, I'm with you.
Jasper
Sir, I'm here.
Houston, Chidima, my people. Okay, Houston.
What was the question, sir? What was the question, sir?
A software framework.
Okay.
Okay, let the guy answer. Okay.
Framework are predefined codes that are designed by someone else, which are very reusable for other people. Instead of them building it from scratch, they can easily make use of the predefined code that have been built for same purpose to make our work more faster, easier, and easy to complete. And that is why we call it framework. It's like a guideline, a certain codes that have been designed for a specific purpose that people can easily go there, pick the one they need to use so that they won't have to start creating the same code from the scratch. That is what is called framework.
Okay. So, who next? Who can try this?
Yeah, framework is just like a structured set of tools or something like libraries or practice, like let's say best practices that provide a foundation for building software, kind of something that's already set and kept so that someone can leverage on in building software. That is a framework.
Okay. All right. Let's take it off from there. All right. Everybody try. I think everybody tried. And so now, software, in area of software, the area of software. Now, a framework, the term framework in English refers to a structure. So when you are talking about structure of something, so the structure is like uh, like an element or part of something. It's like the foundation, right? It's referred to a structure, a foundation of something, right? Or like let's see, a pattern, a way of doing, a way things are built. So refer to what? A structure. It could be a structure of a system, is a building, or a project, right? Now, in software term, framework is a structure that you can use to build software. The structure of a website is HTML. The foundation is what? Is an HTML. So it is a structure that you can use to build software. It acts as a foundation, as I said, as a what? A foundation. So you don't have to deal with creating unnecessary extra logic from scratch. So instead of building something from scratch, right, there's already foundation built already, like an ideas, so they are already there for you to leverage on those ideas and use those ideas to continue building your software. A framework is similar to what? A template. So like a website template, right? If you want to do something, you need a template. So a template can give you like a guideline to follow. It can give like a guideline, an idea. So a framework is similar to a template in that you can modify it and add features and higher functionality to create complex and broad projects that many can use. So just like a template, right? Where you can modify it, add your own feature so that other people can use. So that is a framework. A framework also is a set of tools, libraries. It offers pre-built components and common functionalities, allowing developers to focus on the unique parts or complex part of their application without having to write everything from scratch. It's just that I want to build software now with only software, like you want to use Python to build software. My brother, you will write code tire. It will take you 1 year to finish just a Bluetooth software that can take me just 3 days or 4 days to finish with framework. Are you getting me? If I've forgotten, give me thumbs up. All right. So when you look at, do you have different types of software of framework? Now, in framework, let's say for example, you finish learning Java or you finish learning JavaScript, right? So JavaScript or finish learning Python or finish learning PHP. When you finish learning PHP, although PHP is only used for web, right? Let's use Python for example, or use JavaScript for example. When you finish learning JavaScript, you decide the area you want to specialize. So if you want to specialize in building application, mobile app, you go and learn a framework that is only for mobile app, which is a React Native, right? Now, if you also want to be building backend, you can go and learn Vue or Node.js, right? So a framework is like a tools for you that will help you carry out your job very faster and very robust. So if you look at a little of the framework that we have here, if you learn Java and you want to be building software with Java, you're going to use what's called Spring framework. If you learn Scala and you want to be building software with Scala, you need to leverage on what we call Play. Now, if you learn JavaScript and you want to be building software for backends, because JavaScript is used to build both backend and front end, right? If you want to be using software to build front end or backend, you need to learn React Native. React Native you only use React.js you only use for web application, while React Native is used for what? For native app, right? So if you want to learn, want to be building application like native app, you need to go learn React Native. But if you want to be building web, we need to learn React JS. So we come here, we have PHP. So when you learn PHP finish, you want to be focusing on building a website, you learn what we call Laravel, right? Then for C++, when you finish learning C++ and you want to need a framework, you go and use what we call ASP.NET. This is what most of our banks use. So that's why when you visit a bank, right, and 90% of bank uses what? C++, because it's an old application and they don't want to integrate to a faster one. That's why you see some of our applications are rubbish. If you look at OPE, OPE does not use C++. OPE don't use C++. What OPE uses in the front end, it's React. Then the back end is Python. Are you getting me? For that app. So the front end is React and every other component, while the back end is totally powered with Python. because Python is very good in finance. Now, when you also look at those things, those are frameworks. So when you finish learning Python, the other framework, not only Django, there's a different frameworks in whatever you want to achieve. So in Django, we have in Python, we have most popular, which is Django. So we have Ruby and Rail. So Ruby is a program. If you want to be building framework with Ruby, you use Rail. Are we communicating? Now we look at 10 most popular framework for web application. What are the 10 most popular framework? Now, if you look at the most popular framework for web app, so let's quickly check that. So we say 10 most best web framework, right? So when you go to that web framework, because framework have different for back end. Let's start for front back end first. So for back end development, the most best framework for back end development, we are having one is what ASP.NET, which is used for JavaScript. The next one is what is Django. The second ASP.NET is used for C++. The second is Python. The third is a Laravel. The fourth is Ruby on Rails, like the one we told you. There's Spring Boot, which is Spring Boot is for Java. Flask is for Python. Phoenix is for different. Angular is for JavaScript developed by Google. Node.js it's for also JavaScript. So you can see the second we are having here, it is what Django, right? Now, if you also look at for front end, of course, front end we should have React, which is one of the best. Then we have Angular, and then jQuery. So the one we are going to be using is what? Is jQuery. So jQuery is also asynchronous JavaScript. It does the same thing with React. So we are not going to be using React, but we are going to be using what we call jQuery. It's also a framework for building our front end, which we are going to be leverage on because it's more lighter and more easier to use than React. So you don't need to learn all the complex things. So you can also see best framework for web development. For only web development, best framework for web development, I think the first one is Python, Django REST framework. Then you can scroll down and come here, click on this. Then you can see the best framework in building web application. So when you scroll down, you can see one. You can see the second one, React. You can see the third, Angular. You can see Vue. You can see Django. You can see Flask. You can see Ruby and Rails. So we have different of them, but Google is, according to Google statistics, is recommending is recommending what's that call it? Django as the best. So now you've been able to have idea of what framework is all about, right? What framework is this? And if you are building application in Python, you want to build game in Python, there are framework to use. You are not going to use Django, right? If you want to build different app in you need to leverage on frameworks, right? So we have a lot of framework based on what they are programming language, right? Now let's look at framework in Python, right? So we are going to be looking at Python framework. We've been able to see the general term for framework, both in building software and for English term. Now, for Python, a Python framework automates the implementation of several tasks and give developer a structure for their application. Each framework comes with its own collection of modules or packages that significantly reduced development time, right? Now, a Python framework can either be full stack, micro stack, or asynchronous. So full stack or what? Of micro and asynchronous. So the one we are looking at, I want to talk about full stack. Now, a full stack framework contains all the web development requirements. This includes the form, the layout, HTML, both back end and front end. So Python, Django is a full stack framework because you are using both back end and front end. So when you are building Python, you build both back end and front end. So it is a full stack, right? It's not just although it's not a front end, it's not a front end application for building front end, but you can still use it to build front end. So for us, we will be integrating both front end and back end in Django. Are we communicating? Now, let me look at the web framework. So we have been looking at different kind of frameworks. We have different kind of frameworks for building app, for building games. Now, a web framework is a software platform that provides developers with a pre-built tools and libraries to simplify the development flow of the application. So it is a tools, pre-building tools, right? And libraries that help you to simplify the flow of developing your application. So we have example of Rule on Rails, Django, Flask, Express.js, Laravel, Angular, and more popular frameworks. So if you look at Ruby and Rails, if you look at Flask, Flask is also a Python framework. Express.js is JavaScript for building a website. Laravel is for PHP, Angular is for JavaScript. So we have tons and tons of framework that can help you achieve whatever you need. Now, a web framework aims to make it easier for developers to build complex applications by providing a structured approach to application development. Web frameworks are both front-end and back-end, promote best practice and standardize processes, allowing developers to improve code quality and maintainability. So now, when we look at list of Django framework, so what we are seeing here, it is different Django framework. So in Django have different framework. We have the one for games, we have the one for building API. So when you look at here, we have Django, we have Paramate, we have Flocon, we have Flask, we have Battle, we have Web to PY, we have Fast API. So Fast API is also used in building only APIs, right? So Django have tons and tons framework you can use. That means when you are done learning Django, you can decide the area you want to specialize on. If you want to go into building raw machine learning, you go and use Jupyter, right? Jupyter framework. So if you want to learn different kind of things you want to achieve in Python, automated, that framework in building automated application, strictly automated application in Python. So you can see Python is very broad. When you finish learning Python, you now choose the area you want to specialize. An area we're specializing in the purpose of this, it is Django frameworks. Now, why do we choose Django frameworks? Remember, there's a lot of frameworks you can see here. We have a lot of them, right? But why do we even choose Django framework? That's the question you need to ask yourself. Now, the reason why we choose Django framework is because it's the speed and scalability, right? Now, with Django, they can be able to build application very fast, right? Very, very fast, and it's very scalable. It's very robust, very robust. So with Django, you can finish a complete app within 5 days. In fact, you can finish an e-commerce website within 2 weeks. You are done building an e-commerce website if you are building alone. And documentation. Now, Python documentation, it is very, very well. In fact, it's the best open source documentation in the world. It is self-explanatory. It is very simple and it's very easy. Now, community. This is one of the things that I decided that, see, if it's not Python, you are wasting your time. Django have large numbers of community that you can join. So after tonight's class, I'll be sharing some of the link to join. So you can come to this Django platform and scroll down here. Then you see some of that community. You can see join group. You can see join contributors. You can even see the submit blog. So when you click on join group, you can join the Discord chats, you can join the forum, right? You can join the Django contributor. When you click on it, where you can join, then you can see different things you can be contributing. So go through it. Then you have another one here. Join the group. You can join the Django forum by clicking here. You can see forum.django. So we also have report bug. In case you're having any bug, you can even report, right? You can see this is Django community, where you can search any kind of issue that you are having. You can create an account for yourself, and then any issue you are having here, they can easily help you to resolve it. And one of the one I like so much is the let me see how I can see that community. I was in that community. Join group. Let me click on this join group. This join group will help me post and question, contribute, local community. So this local community is what? I don't know what the community is all about. Okay, you can check your local community. Then you check Django Social Egypt, Django Niger, Django Ghana. Let me quickly search for Nigeria. Nigeria. We don't even have Nigeria here. Nigeria, my country. I mean, we need to create one. We will apply for one, please. We will need to apply for one. Nigeria is not here. So we need to apply for one immediately. You need to apply for one, please. So
APC if you arrest their directors.
no be for Django now. Django that they do this. So okay. Another one is about mailing list. Please, I really want to go and join Django mailing list. Mailing list. It is very important. Let me show you how the mailing list work. Skyline@gmail.com. So this is using Django. Then this is contributor. Have you seen the mailing list? So this mailing list, you can also post your own question. You can create conversation. You can see this one is having issue. It said login to credential is not valid when I use ROS blah 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 blah. So when you scroll down, you can be seeing people that are already contributing. Nobody has contributed in this one yet. Just posted it newly. You can also see people scroll down and see that this person has responded. This person has responded. Thank you for the feedback and solution. So anything you are going through, you can easily come to this community, Gmail community, and easily add them. People will be there to resolve it for you. So we also have another community, which is Django contributors. You can put your email, then look at where they are taking you, right? So this one, you can even write here. You can see the Django release, security, core purpose of upgrading core mail, Django 5. They just released that 1.5 release. You can read everything from here. So because of the large community, and that is why I choose Django. Now another thing is security. Now Django has one of the best security, right? So Django for everyone has a lot of inbuilt features that can help you for security to protect you from click checking, ASS, CSRF token, which is a cross-site false forgery or whatever. We have a SQL injection attack, right? It protects you a lot, right? Now, so these are the reason why we are using Python. So when it comes to popularity, Django is one of the popular framework in the world today, whether I like it or not. And the companies that are using Django currently, we have a company like Reddit. I don't know if you know Reddit. Reddit is an online forum. We have Quora. Yeah? Quora is an online forum. Yahoo, Google, Pinterest, Instagram, Dropbox, Spotify, YouTube. They are all what? Using what? Django, right? Using Django. Now, they are using Django in building some of the components of the website for backend. It does not mean that that is all the backend program they use. So there's area that's okay, this area I want to use Django, right? But Django for backend, Django is about 50%. 50% of contribution. Now, when it comes to here, to verify this, come to Google and type websites, list of website built with Django. So immediately you do that, look at what Google is giving us. Instagram, Pinterest, Spotify, Mozilla Foundation. You can Google and do more research on what did they use Python in doing, which area. But in fact, all the popular websites. So if all these popular websites is using Django, that means Django is a feature for backend. Because all of them want to integrate into Python. Django is the feature, right? Django is the feature. So moving ahead, then what can we do with Django, right? What can we do with Django? So because newbie always ask this question, as I'm learning this Django, what can I even do with this Django? Now, what the thing is that you can do with Django is build backend of web app of app. We are use Django to build what? Backend. Now, Django developers can use Django on backend of mobile app using a framework called what? Django REST API, right? On the backend, right? So this Django framework API, it is used to build the backend. Why you can use this backend, this endpoint, with any of the front end language, such as React JS, Iconic, Ionic or Ionic. I don't know what they call it. Is it Ionic or what? Ionic is actually a framework used in building desktop app. Flutter, you can use it with Flutter. So Flutter, you can use Flutter in building front end. Then you use Python to build the back end. So if Flutter is easier for you to learn for front end, learn Flutter for your app. Then you can use Python to build the back end for you. You make cool money for yourself. Flutter can even take you 2 months. You are done with Flutter, which is very easy for front end. You are done with building Flutter. You learn it. You don't need to be building the backend. So you already know the backend. Use Python. In fact, there is this Python framework. They call it Flex. So this Flex is one of the Python framework you can even use in building both desktop app, mobile app, and so you can see enable developer to easily build real-time web, mobile, and desktop. It is a Python framework powered by Flutter. So you don't even need to even go and learn Flutter. Just go and learn this one because you already know Python. Pick up this course on Flex or read that documentation. You already know Python and use them in building your application. It's very, very easy. So another thing is to develop desktop app. So Python can also be used as the server-side infrastructure for desktop applications, similar to mobile app. I will explain that already using Django REST APIs. They're also going to use Django for machine learning. Integrate Django with machine learning allow you to build a web application that serves machine learning models. Now, for web application, there is no limitation to what you can do with Django. So I will not say you can use Django to build with this. No. Even in mobile app, there is no limitation. But you cannot use it for front end in mobile app, right? So you can build applications such as healthcare management system, automated email services, financial and investment platforms, event management, social media networks, job portal, education platform, real-time art application, SaaS, which is a software as a service platform. So software as a service platform is like a subscription platform where you can come and use their software and pay, such as platforms such as GitHub. GitHub, you can subscribe for GitHub and be able to have premium features software as a service. We have a lot of them. A lot of them. So ChatGPT too. They are all software for service. Probably you are paying money to use the software. Then enterprise application, content management system, e-commerce platform, and also you can use to build an API, right? So these are all you can use in these are things that Django can be used in building. And you see the reason why you need to learn it. And when you make up your mind to learn this framework, you are not going to regret it. That's the truth. So we are moving to the next, how Django works, which is very important. Anybody have any question? If I move into how Django works, then now start Django installation. Before we should leave this place. Anybody have any question? Any question? Any question? Okay. Okay. Evaristus, fire down.
So yeah,
Okay, I don't have any question. Just fire down.
Okay.
You're on point. Fire down.
Uche, are you there? Uche, mommy.
Right, Chief. Hold on. I wanted to ask, since the Django is a library, let me just assume that I attended maybe an interview and I was asked, or maybe filling a form to whether I know Python, whether I studied Python, and because I have studied the Django, can I just fill in that yes, I am cool with Python because I know the Django?
Sorry. You said what?
I'm saying, like, assuming like maybe I went for an interview, job interview, and I was asked if I am okay, if I can write, if I can code with Python, if I know Python very well, and because I have studied the Django framework, can I, kind of use the Django as a substitute, kind of that yes, I know Python because I understand the Django.
There's no way you can understand Django without Python.
Okay.
There's no way. It's not possible.
Okay.
There's no way you can understand Python, Django.
I was just like,
it's not possible.
maybe somebody can just, instead of going direct to Python, just say, okay, let me go and learn the Django.
Python, Django is built upon Python.
Okay.
So Python, Django code is Python code. Just that the difference is there that they are just syntaxes, but it's Python code. Anything you can achieve with Python, you can. In fact, there's no way. Just like how do I put it? There's no way. You must know Python very well before you can even use Django. That's it. There's no difference. Just that difference there is the pattern of doing it. So it's not like, unlike the way you're writing a normal Python, you are not going to write it that way. But this one, you're writing it in a framework. So they have their pattern. You need to follow their pattern.
Okay, my second question is, will I be considered a professional developer if I am only using the Django? You understand? If it is it okay? Is it acceptable? I understand you have explained that there are so many of companies using them, but is it professional? Like,
who's a professional developer?
I know maybe most of my works are all like the Python works are all done on Django. The web-based ones are all on the Django. Since I know with normal Python, you can actually code everything just as you have explained. Just like when you were giving us an example on having an admin interface, you can code your own admin interface, you understand? So which means you can actually use your Python, do everything from scratch by yourself without using the libraries, without going to use the Django. So I'm just asking if that is
okay. You mean you can use everything, Python to do everything?
Yes.
It's not possible.
Yeah.
It's not possible. Unless you can use it to build the software itself. But the truth is that you go spend years in building one application.
Yeah.
There's no way in that. In fact, even Python itself tell you that they are just a programming language. Are you getting me? It is just a programming language.
Yes. Okay.
Definitely need a library. It needs a library. It is possible though, but okay, you no. Don't just go there. You'll just waste your time. You'll just waste your time. And also, when you mean a professional uh, developer, who's a professional developer? A professional developer is a developer that can build anything you want him to build with any framework and get the same result. When it comes to backend, there's nothing you cannot do in Django. Because Django is a backend framework. It also, you can use Django with the React. Like I told you, you need to build an APIs. But if you know React, you build React at your front end. Django serves as a backend. So there is no thing you cannot do. No need to talk about that. There's nothing you cannot do with Python, Django. There is no limitation. You can use it to build any software, but when it comes to backend, Django is the best framework. In fact, let's even Google it. Let's just Google it here. Best backend framework in 2024. Let's see what Google will give us. Now, best backend framework in 2024 you are seeing here is Django. Based on Google search lab. So this Google search lab is Google APIs that collect this statistics from Google. So Python for myself, Python is even the top. Okay, this is an AI experience, but Google is recommending Python as the best. If we come to what's they call it? This this app, this site I be Daily Dev, right? It's one of the best sites for developer. So I'm recommending it for you guys. In case you are stuck, you can use Daily Dev. So if you go to that Daily Dev, if you go to your Daily Dev, you can see Python is number 1. Are you seeing it? Django is number 1. So if it's number 1 in building software, backend software, then what is that framework that will challenge Python? There's none. I'm not seeing any framework that can challenge Python. I've not seen any. So Django rather, not Python. All right. So that is it. Now Django work. Who can tell us? Who can tell us how Django work? Okay, you have the floor. You have the floor. Somebody indicated now. Somebody indicated. Who can tell us how a website works? Before we move into how Django works, who can tell us how a website works?
Let me go ahead. Let me give it a try.
Huh?
I said I want to give it a try.
Okay, fine now.
Okay. Website work through HTTP request from the user through their web browser, and the server will receive this HTTP request, send it to the actual server through their URL, and check for the corresponding data they are actually searching for, then return it and send it back to the web browser in which is going to be displayed to the user. That is how website works.
Okay. Now let's look at Python. Python follow the principle that we call, or the architectural pattern, the pattern we call the MVT. Who can tell us what is MVT? MVT. That is a pattern. Okay.
Model view controller.
Good. Model, no, not model view control. That is MVC. MVT. It's also the one that is popular is model view controller, right? Which is another pattern of designing softwares. So Django was designed
designed
using the
using the
MVT
NVT
architectural pattern.
architectural pattern.
So who can tell us?
So who can tell us?
Model view template.
Good.
Good.
Django is built
Django is
upon
built
model
upon
view template.
model view.
Please mute your mic. We are going to be learning what is this model, what is this view, what is this template. So it's also similar to what our brother said earlier, model view control, right? So now this MVT structure separate different components of our work application to make it easy to manage, develop, deploy, and maintain. Now, if you come to a website, for instance, I like doing practical. I come to this website and I call. Now, immediately I request for a web page. I am given access to this page, right? Now, immediately I request for this page, right? I type the URL from the browser. So it's sending a request to the server and display whatever we are having. Now let's see how Django work with doing this. Like I told you, Django use what we call the MVT, which is model view template, in sending requests. So when we come here, if a user come here, it send the request to what we call the URL. Now, what is this URL, right? So URL are called URL pattern or patcher. So the URL is like a path in Django file that whenever you call that URL on the browser, the same way I call this man on the browser. So if you call that URL on the browser, what happens is it sends a request from that URL to what we call the view. So the view is like the logic warehouse, right? The view is like what? The logic warehouse. So immediately you call that, if you call the path, the view will send signal to this, the URL will send signal to the view. So it will check if that path you are calling is corresponded to what we are having at the view. So the view is where all the business logic happen. You will check if a user log in, if a user did this thing, if a user put the password is incorrect. Then if a user put in that pin is, we check if that pin is correct. It should take them to the next page. If it's not correct, it should take them to the next. So it controls the logic of the application. Now, when a user send information from the browser that the way I tap, let me tap another URL. I tap add let's say slash I'm going to say student. Let me use admin. Now when I call this admin, then I call here to type another URL. So this is what we call URL, and this is a part. And this part is inside Django. Now let me show you where this part is. Follow me. When it comes to my Django application, I have what we call what? URL. Now this URL is a part. So whatever I'm calling in that URL, in Django URL, this is the part. So this URL is a part. Now if you see this, add user list. So when I come to the Django URL and call this add user list, what's going to happen is that immediately I call this add user list, it's going to send information to this man, the view. Remember what I told you, the view control the logic. So the logic such as let's say this add user view is a login page. Now, immediately it sends this request to the view will now process this information and send to the model. Let's look about the logic. I told you the view is the logic. So immediately I send the information, what happened? Now, if you go back to your view, you come to this view here, we have what we call a class called add user. So let me quickly click on the link. Now, if you come to this add user, you will see this place is what we call a view. This place is what we call what? View. In this view, you will see that where the logic, I told you that the view is where business logic happens. Where the what? The logic happens. So in this view, this man is, you don't need to understand all this, but I just want to know that this is a view. So the view controls what we call the business logic. It controls the logic of that particular part. So it controls the logic of everything that happens in here. Now, where is this thing coming from? These things are recorded in my database, right? So if what I wrote in my list is to get list of all the students from my database, so the view will now send information to the model, which is the database. Are we communicating? So what the database is doing is to get, what this view is doing is to get all the list of these students. So immediately I type in add students, it will now send the information to the view. The view will now send the signal if the pattern is there. If the add user is there, imagine that if the add user is not there, this is what I will get. I'll get an error. Then I have this funny code, right? Telling me that page not what? Not found. It means that the view did not have access to that page. But when the view have access to this page, where the logic is there inside the view, next thing the view are going to do is to send requests to the database based on the logic that have written on the view. So the view is like the engine house where all the logic happens. Is where it writes every logic about the particular page. Now, if the view send this to the model, who is it talking to? Let's go back to the code. Now, remember in the view here, in the view here, come down. So remember in the view here, this is the view, right? And inside this view, we are calling the list of all students, right? Which is this, add student, right? So it is getting the list of all students from the user. So this is fetching the user. It means that whenever I call this endpoint inside the view, it will send this information to the database. Now let's go and check the model. Let's check the model and see which is the database. All right. Okay. Now if you come to the model here, you see this user. So this is where the model that is holding all the database for my user. So immediately this information is sent, you send this information to this model you are seeing here. This model you are seeing here. It will send this information to the model. So the model is the database. Are you getting me? The database where it will collect this information and store it. So immediately call it, it will now go into the database table and fetch whatever that we are calling. When you fetch whatever that we are calling, it will now, the model, you now send this information back to the view. The view will now send to the template. And what is the template? The template, it is the design, which is the way those data we are getting will be presented. Are you getting me? The data we are getting, the way it wants it to be presented. So the template control the HTML, which is the front end. Remember, I told you the front end is what? It can be CSS, it can be HTML, it can be JavaScript, it can be React. So that is what we call with the template. So when you look at the word template, it means HTML. So it sends this information to HTML, which will now appear to the user. Are we communicating? Now, this is which is the HTML. The HTML which look like this. HTML which look like what? Like this. Combination of what? HTML. So you can see the HTML. We have some Django tags, template tags, which we use for our functionality. So that is actually how Django works. Very simple. Like I told you, the user send request to the view to the URL. The URL, what the URL will do is that it is the logic. So everything you wrote in the URL, if whatever you are writing is in database, it will check. If it's not in database, it will not display whatever you wrote to the template and send this request to the template. That's when you are passing your what's that called it? View, you pass it to what? You make sure you pass your view to what? To an HTML, which is this link. Now, I don't want you to understand anything here, but I want you to understand how the logic of Python, how it works. This stage is the first stage you need to learn before you start doing anything in Python. So the first one is the user send request. He send this request to a view using a path. So before you send request, there are links you can click. There are links you can call. There are paths you can call. So this path are stored in the what? The URL. Let's say you want to log in, click slash login. This path is stored what? In the URL. Now the functionality, the logic of this part, it's now being controlled by the view. Then the view will send information to the model and bring the information back from the model and now send it to what? Send it to the template. Do we understand? Do we understand?
Yes, sir, we do.
Now, I will call
Yes, sir.
if you understand, I will call you to come and explain. Now, let's move ahead. Now, Django is a web framework that use what we call modern view template, which is what? MVT. So, like if you know modern, you know that model is database, right? View is what? Is logic, where the logic happens, where all the whole magic happens, right? T stands for what? Template, which is the HTML. So you use what we call modern view what? Template design pattern to manage and query database, process request, and present to the web page. Have you seen it? So it use that pattern to what? To query what? Database. Querying database by using the what? The view to query this man, and then present it to the what? To the web page through what? Templates. I told you templates like what? That HTML, right? Are we communicating? Are we communicating?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We
Now,
are communicating.
remember what I told you. So this structure separates different components of web application to make it easier to manage and to control. Now, Django projects are made up of 4 main files that work together to create Django application. What are these 4 main files? Who can tell us? These 4 main files in Django.
The models, the models, the URL, the view, and the template.
The templates. I get it. The template. So these are 4 major files in Django. So these are 4 major files in Django that work together. So if you look at the view, what is the view? It controls the logic. Let's say a user, let's say you want a user, if a user log in, it will check if the password is incorrect or not. So we do it in the view. If a user subscription have expired, we check if the user have expired or not. We do it in the view. Then if the user subscription have expired, we'll not tell in the view if the user have expired based on what information we have in the database. That means the view always can only communicate to the database, but the view cannot work on its own without from the URL, because it's the request the user is giving to the view, is that the view will now send that request to the what? To the database. And whatever it gets, you can say, okay, if you send this request to the database, if those things are in the database, then check this. If it's not there, send this information back to the view. So the view is now what collect that message. So the template is now the delivery boy. When you order something, go and buy something from me, right? It send the person message. The delivery boy now is what? Is the template. So whatever that happens within that process, it is the template, the delivery boy, that can present those information to the user, or can present message to the user, telling the user your subscription have expired, please subscribe. Are we communicating? Are we communicating?
Yes, sir.
Now,
Yes, sir.
how Django work? The view. The Django view has a URL mapper or URL dispatcher features that map your view function to your URL. You have to create a URL mapper file in which you write URL pattern as shown below. Right? I will show you. So the URL, it said that you need to create a URL files. Then that will collect a path from what? From the view. Then the view process request from the user by using the model to retrieve data and return a response to the template. Have you seen that thing I explained earlier? Return the information what? To the template. So a view will now request data to the model and return the information to the template. So the view process request from the user by using model to retrieve data. So model is not really like a database, but it's a database placeholder. That is what we are going to use to retrieve information from the database and then return the response to what? To the template. It handles the logic of your website. Are we communicating? Are we together? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are here. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, fantastic. Now the model acts as interface between database and the code. So the model is not database, right? The model is just serve as an interface. It's what we call ORM, object related to mapping. It's an object related mapping. So it communicates between the model and the database. Okay, let me see if I can get an image. Let me see if I can get an image to explain this. Let me see if I can get the information. The model. I'll see where I'll get this information. Trying to see to get. Let me see. Trying to see what I can get. Okay, let me try this. Let's see if I can be able to explain this. Now, so let me explain this, right? When you look at the class of model, so we call it object-oriented model. Now, this is a class. So the class stands for what? The database table. Are we communicating? Database what? Table.
Table.
Are we there?
Yes, sir. We are here.
Good. Now I can see the class. So we come here in the model. The model. Okay. If you come to the model, so it's a database, it's a class. So this was start for what? Database table. A table of what? Of users. Why this one stands as what? Columns. Are we communicating? It stands as what?
Yes, sir.
As column. So
Column.
yes, column for your this thing. So this instance, you can call it instance. Variable which start as what? An attribute columns. Are you getting me? Method are store procedures. So this variable start as what? An attribute / column. So the class is what? Database table. We all know what database table, right? We have done database before. So is it getting clearer now? So those things are just so if you say user.object, so you are calling the user column. Then the field inside there, you are calling the user what? Table. The field inside there becomes what? A column. So next one we have the model. I told you about the model. So the templates. The templates manage the web page presentation in your web browser. Since most web pages are in hypertext markup language, HTML, you can write Django template code in similar HTML template. So the Django template contains what HTML, right? CSS, JavaScript. Now look at the request, the mode diagram explanation of the logic. The reason I'm explaining this because if you don't know this, if you don't know this, it will hurt you. When I'm done, I would like to respond to questions. The area I need clarification, I'll clarify. I want to make sure that everybody understand what the logic, what Django MVT does and how it works. So number one, user make request by hitting the URL, right? By hitting the what? The URL. Now number two, the URL is reserved word, a resolve which map to a view argument I also expected. Now with the URL, like I told you, the URL is what? You can use user one or user two. The URL must be inside the URL what? File. Then when it's sent, number three, it does what? It's sent to what we call the view logic. So view control all the custom logic and connect to the template and model. Have you seen it? So when they send this information to the view write the logic, then send to the database. So contain the database and it's connected to database. So using what we call ORM, it provides required database view and send to the template. So when you send it back, number five, the view now send this information to the template. So when you look at the view, the URL, let's use this example for example. So we'll use this as an example rather. We have the home. So the home, which is the URL, home of a website. So this is connected to a view. So a view in logic. So this is talking to home.logic because inside view, you have a class or a function called home. Then the next one here, you have the view, which is the, have you seen the home? So when you come here, it's importing inside this view, it's importing this home. So when it comes, you see that we have home inside the view file. You see the logic. So when you visit this site, this is what you're going to say, welcome to my homepage. Then now have the what? The model. So the model need to fetch or manipulate database using the word Django ORM, which is object relational word mapping to interact with the database. So this is the object relational mapping. In database, you have product table, we have a name and price column. Then the final one here, we have the word, the template, which is where the HTML lies. Are we communicating? So I'd like to call one person to come and explain this process for us. Then before I turn to questions, we are going to install Django tonight. Then next class we'll start writing our code. So who can are we together? Are we together?
Yes, sir, we are here.
So who can help us, please? Who can come and explain this?
Should I go ahead?
Further.
All right. From the user, which is from user's web browser, user have to enter the corresponding URL in which he or she decided to visit. Then once the user hits on the URL, Django will extract the URL and send it to url.py inside the Django files. And inside these url.py files, that is where all our paths are located. Paths to home, path to login, path to everything in our site are located. So once it saw the corresponding URL file, it will now send it to corresponding view. View will now cross-check the path if actually we are having it in our document. If the two are aligned together, then he has to contact the model to see the corresponding file he needs to deduct from the back end. While collecting the file, it will now display it to the template in which user can view through their browser.
Okay. That is perfect. That is fantastic. I need two more persons. Next person, please. I want to start calling names. Should I call names? Or I call name, Abby? Houston. 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 Chidima.
Hello, sir.
Okay, Kishin, further.
Okay, sir. Yeah. In summary, what from what you've said taught tonight, the user hit an URL, which represents Universal Resource Locator, and that once it's extracted, it is sent to the view. The view, according to what you taught us tonight, is the logical center. This is like the brain. This is where every logic
The
takes
engine,
place.
exactly. Fantastic.
Yes. So, and then it now sends to the model
Hmm.
and decide that that's where it get decide what when you get sent to the model, it gets should I say the check whatever the person has said. If those things are correct, it will take to the model and then fetch the required data, and then it comes back to the view,
Mm-hmm.
and then the view. So to display it for the user, it goes to the template from the view. Just in summary.
Okay, that is fantastic. Any question, any area that anybody need clarification before we dive into installing Django, visual environment and Django. We're going to be doing learning visual environment and then the PIP package. That we will learn about PIP. Then we install some 2-3 modules and confirm that. Then we'll wrap it up for the class. All right, okay, that's what.
Good evening, Chief.
Yeah, good evening, sir.
I want to ask a question. How much of Python is one expected to learn before diving into Django? Yes,
Basic,
yes.
basic,
Okay,
basic.
thank you.
Like, in fact, to this extent that we have learned. I get me. To this extent, you must
Yes,
know class. Class is very important. You must
yes,
know
sir.
function, very important. You must know if statement, F statement, Y statement. Very important. Yeah. You must know classes is very important, like I told you. Inheritance. So if you are not read about inheritance, go and read about the classes inheritance. Because almost everything I'm going to be doing will be based on that. So I think you also learn, I think that is all. Every other thing you are doing, you'll be learning it. So learning, you don't finish learning, you keep learning every day. So the more you are learning, the more you are improving. If you know, understand the basic of Python, in fact, you know Python syntax, dictionaries, list, all this, in fact, everything that I have taught so far, you need to get at least the basic knowledge of it. So that you will not see me using them for you feel like it's the first time. So you feel like the first time. Basic Python knowledge is good. Don't need to be a pro. No, 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 no. You don't need to be a pro. So even though if you're a pro self, that means you don't need to learn Django. You can't be doing other things. We are all beginners, so we are all learn every day. So any other question? Does it mean that all of us understood what I've been taught? Please, if you have question, ask. If you have question, ask. Because I'm going to be moving into the next. I don't need to. My theory ends today. The next one is building. Okay. Then let's get started. How do you start using Python in your local machine? For you to use Python, you need to install Python in your uh, virtual environments. Why do we use visual environments? Visual environment for me is like a, a a folder or a container that isolates your Python or Django projects. So you need the first thing is to create a visual environment. And why do we create that visual environment? For some people, it's the first time I'm hearing the word visual environment. If I've heard the word before, indicate. If I had the word visual environment before, indicate. Okay. Israel. Okay, so President, tell us what is visual environment. President. Okay, Israel. Israel.
Okay, sir. Visual environment is the environment that we are working on, the one that we can see, we can play around with.
Oh, not
That
really.
is,
Okay, the guy.
Okay. As for me, virtual environment is just a isolated place you created on your system to work with, in which if anything should go wrong, it will affect the whole system. Just only that segment.
Good. Now,
That's what we call virtual
visual
environment.
environment, like you said, is an isolated directory, right? That contain your Python installation and their packages. And the why you should have visual environment is because in Python, there's what we call a global folder. In that global folder, eh, let's say you want to build an application, right? With Django 3.5. And in Python, we already have Django 3.5, right? And you want to install Django 2.2 or 3.4 or 5.0. You cannot do that in the same VS Code, in the same Python package. You cannot do that. It's not possible. So you need to create an isolated environment, a different environment, a folder that is just like a folder, not like just see visual environment like a folder of that hold your project. Let's say, for instance, you are building a website in one folder. So you now create, for instance, I create Abatos or Abatos folder. Then inside that Abatos folder, you create index.html. Do you know that in that Abatos folder, you cannot create any other index.html? Sure, you are aware.
Yes.
Good. For you to be able to create another index.html, you need to create a different folder. So just like a folder that contains your project. So any project you are building, it's required that you create a visual environment. Like any website you are building, like let's say if you are building a particular software, let's say the software is like employment recording software, right? You are working on that particular software. There are some modules and packages you would like to install. And if you install it in their global environment, it may break your Python. And if you break your Python, Oga, you go suffer. You'll be looking for the problem you will not see. So for to be on the safer side, you create a visual environment, right? It is very important that you create a visual environment. I mean, some of you, when you are working on this desktop project, you did not use visual environment. You are just installing the thing. I know it's not done that way. You must create a visual environment so that when you are deploying, let's say for example, your Python now, you have like 100 websites you are building, and you are installing all your packages. You want to deploy, you deploy both the package. Let's say there are some packages that you don't need, and when you are deploying them, you don't need to deploy them with those packages. So you need to create a clean visual environment, a clean folder that will hold your application. Are we communicating? Are we good? Are we good?
Yes, sir. We are good.
So
Yes,
now,
sir. We are good.
a visual environment in Python is an isolated environment that allows you to install and manage packages and independencies separately from the system-wide Python installation. So any installation you are doing in Python are kept in one place. But with the visual environment, it will keep it in a separate folder. This helps avoid conflict between different projects that may require different versions of the same package. I explained this before, right? A visual environment is like a separate workspace for Python project. This one is simple. So it's a separate workspace for Python project. It helps you manage and keep track of your packages, libraries, and tools. You need for each project, right? You need a visual environment for each project without affecting other projects or other what packages. Is that clear? Is that clear? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I beg if it's not clear, ask question. That's why I'm here. Now,
Please come again, sir. Please come again.
okay. I said a visual environment is like a separate workspace for your Python project. So it's like your folder. When you are before you start creating website with HTML, you need to create a folder, right? Let's say in VS Code, you already have another website you are building on. If you want to create another website, you need to create a folder, right? Why are you creating folder? To avoid conflict. No be so. Will you build all the
Yes,
whole
please.
website
Yes.
in that one folder? So to avoid conflict, you need to create a visual
For
environment
different folders.
for
Yeah.
a different folder. So when you are building a separate application. So to avoid conflict, you need to create a visual environment. So we are going to be learning how we can create visual environment. Okay. Okay, via done. Jasper Green. Jasper, can you hear you?
That guy, I beg, mute your mic. That
Okay,
guy.
guy, please mute your mic. Okay.
Please, can you hear me, sir?
All right, I can.
Can you hear me,
Fine.
sir?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Okay, sir, please, when you said install and manage packages and dependencies separately from the system-wide Python installation, I want to understand that particular part because I'm just fighting my understanding, so I want to get that one clear, and I didn't really get it that well.
Okay, you want to
Dependencies and separately, yeah, the dependencies, yes.
okay. Now, when you mean by dependencies, now packages, manage package and dependencies. Now, the dependencies is like okay, let me do it this way. A package is like models, right? Like the project you guys did the last time, you install TikTok, right? That is a package, right? Now, when you want to manage the dependencies of that package, you need to install them separate from Python normal the way all the, like I told, there is a place you keep all your Python, that's a place all the installation you did in Python are kept. So if you want to manage that particular application, you need to create a package separately that will manage it. As you created that package separately, it will help you manage that application. It will be on its own without being among the Python installation. So leave the big English. So the packages there are the modules which you can install from a different website called pip, right? So pip is like a Play Store. The way you have your Android Play Store, if you want to install any application in Android, you go to what? To Play Store. So each of the packages have what they are doing. It is people that develop those packages there for you. So in nutshell, call them plugins because it like nothing you can do without packages in Python with the Django. So if for you to work anything, you need packages that are already built for you. Then you can install that package there. Even Python is a library. Django is a library. It does not come with Python, right? So you need to install that library. And we have a site where you install this library. So the site that you install this library is called pip. So pip. So when you type pip, pip is a package manager, right? So pip is a package manager in Python that are used to install and manage Python application. So if you want to install anything in Python, you use pip. So it is managed, it used to manage Python. It's a Python manager. So when you are in your desktop, when you want to source software, you must have open a startup. So for you to install any application in Python, you must use what we call pip install, right? So let's look at where we can download Python. So it's pip pypip.org. So pypip.org, it is a website where you can download all Python package. If you want to download Django, you can come here, Django. So when you type Django, you see different version of Django. But for the safe place, if you look at this, you can see Django 5.0. For a safer place, it is also good to download Django from the official website. So when you come here, you will see that for you to install the latest Django, you need to type pip.install Django, which is the latest. So the latest release was released 5.1.0 was released a few days ago, this week, this month, right? Although I've not read to know what is new in 5.0, probably I may not use it. Now remember, if you want to install the latest application, you use pip install the name of the app. But if you want to store based on version, right? Let's say I come down here. So let me click on this man. Then you can see release history. So this release history is where you see different version of Python. So you scroll down. You can see 5.0, right? You can see 0.1, 0.6. So let's go a bit this thing. Let's use this one, 0.0.5. Now look at what they are telling you here. The new version is available. Then now if you want to store a specific version, we are going to use pip install equals to the name of that version. But if you don't put this equals to, it will automatically install the latest Python package for you. For me, I will recommend install 5.0 because some hosting company don't even support the latest one because they will take time for them to modify. So use 5.0. Are we communicating? Are we communicating?
Yes, sir.
Now, if you want to install VG environment, you can come to Google and type pip visual environment. So when you type VG environment, then when you come here, you see that the VG environment is also a package in Python. So like I told you, it's used to manage your environment. Then if you scroll down here, you can see different releases, and you can see the documentation. Here you can read the documentation. You can see the installation guide. When you click on the installation guide, you will see that they will tell you to install what? To install pip. Then when you install the pip, you can also, if you don't want to use you scroll down, they have different. So this is the installation guide. Then you can click on user guide that will guide you what the VG environment does. Now, if you want to create a VG environment, you need to call this keyword visual, then the name of that VG environment. Now, if you want to activate the VG environment in Mac OS, listen, you use this command. Then if you want to activate in Windows, use this command. So we are going to see how we can create and install VG environment. Any question? Who don't know what is VG environment and why we are creating it? Please indicate. Let me explain. I'm closing the class at exactly 12, so I don't have time. All right, so let's go back. So what we are going to do is that I'm going to open a new file. So here I'm going to close this. I'm going to close this one. So this is what I have my VS Code, right? So here, I'm going to open a folder. Tell them allow it to. So what we are going to do when we start doing, we'll connect directly from GitHub, right? So that everything we are doing, we are saving it to GitHub to avoid storage that touches the heart. Very important. So we click here. I'm going to save a folder because it's going to be a very long journey. So I'm saving it in my PC. Saving in my C drive. So inside the C drive, just a folder. I can save the folder anywhere. You can save it in your desktop, or you can even create it. Don't need to follow my pattern. Then let's call it back um, backend Django. So this is the folder I created. Kakuma select. So there's no different, nothing there, just the normal folder that you created, right? So now this is yes, trust the folder. Yes. Now, so this is a folder that you've created, right? So next thing we are going to do here is to create our visual environment, right? So inside here, make sure that you already have Python running in your system. Now, to confirm if Python is running in your system, what you need to do, you come here, type command. So this command prompt, look at this. So look at this command prompt, then click on it. Then inside here, type Python 3. So make it type Python 3. Wait for it to come up. Um, it's taking me somewhere. Let me have Python. Okay. So write, instead of writing Python 3, write only Python. So I write Python. You can see it's telling me that I've installed what? Python 3.12.1, right? This is when I installed December 7, 2023, right? So this is when I installed the Python. So this is how you can check if Python is installed in your this thing. So another thing you also need to do is that the Python is already installed, right? And then if you're having any issue, you have a lot of issues, please reach out to me. If your code cannot help you, reach out to me in live class to help you resolve that issue. I know that a lot of issues may be coming in during the process of doing this, right? Which I will not want to mention now, but I know that a lot of people have that issue, which we call a permission issue. You charge it, I use a different communities, a Stack Overflow to resolve it. If you can't resolve it, then reach out to me. I can see how to put it through. So what we are going to do here is I'll come to this man, and then let me open my terminal. So open my terminal. So inside here, I'm going to check if I'm going to check all the packages that are installed in my Python. Listen, I want to check all the packages that are installed in my Python. So to check all the packages that are installed in my Python, my global Python, I can say pip list. So pip list will list all the packages that are installed in your Python. Are we communicating?
Yes, sir.
Wait for it to come up.
Yes, sir.
Usually take time. Let's scroll up a little bit, taking time. So it will come up. Or you can use pip freeze, pip list, or pip what freeze. Why is it taking time now? This man is crazy. So let's type a pip freeze, pip freeze. So let's type pip freeze, pip list. Don't know why it's taking time. Okay. So it's telling us that pip is available, update. So it's not showing us any package. Pip list. Okay.
My own is showing here now.
My own is not showing any package. Probably I am using maybe I'm using a new global variable. But however, when you do pip free, it's going to show you the package, right? So now what I'm going to your own may be showing, which is fine. So what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to install visual environment first, right? So the first thing I'm going to do is to come here and come to pip. I can say visual env, or you can even find it on Google, right? So you can even find it on Google. Let's just use Google, please. Pip visual. So this is it, the link. This is the keyword you are going to use. So just click on this link. Then inside this link, you can see the latest released. Then pip install visual info. You can copy it or you type it. So when you copy it, come back to here and you left click or right click rather. You right click, or you can type it the normal way of typing it.
Sorry, sir. I have a question, sir.
Okay.
What if is it a mod that we must install it inside VS Code? What if we run it through this thing, command line?
You can run it through command line, but you run it through command line, yeah. If you are in the part where you install Django, you run it through command line.
Okay, it has to be inside the part you installed Django.
No, the part installed Python now. You have to be in your Python part because it's inside Python.
It has to be inside the Python part.
Yes.
You know, when you open command line, you will see your this thing.
What you were saying is that the folder you want to work with, you have to open the command line in that folder. Then you install your virtual environment.
Okay, that is the folder you want to work with.
Not the folder. You don't necessarily need to the folder. You are installing it inside your
now.
Okay, let me show you guys something. Hold on. Let me create. I think I need to show you guys something. Let me show you guys something. I see how to. When they come to this place, you come here. So when you come here, type Python. So you see Python interpreter. So when you look at this, you can see the Python part I'm currently working. This is where this thing is being installed. Are you getting me? This place is where it's installing. So you can see another Python part I have here. So this is recommended. This is global. So you can see my parts. Right? If you don't have this part, whatever you are doing is wrong. So make sure that you are inside this part. And how to do this is that you need to add this part in your environment variable, right? For you to be able to be in the server side. But however, if you're having issue on this, I'll show you how to do it.
How am going to add it?
I better show us now.
Okay,
show us, please.
No, sir. My question is, when you open command line, you will see C / users, then / the name of your system. Now, are you to install it inside that directory? You know, if you install inside that directory, it's going to be inside the users, then the name that you gave your laptop that you're working with.
It's not going to work. You have to see, okay. Now let me show you something. Let me show you.
Can you go to your command line first? Let's see.
Let me go to. If you do it here, and enter. Now when you enter, let's see what's going to happen. So wait for it. It's taking time. I'm not sure it's going to work. I'm not sure it's going to work. Okay, it's working. It's working. Are you getting me?
Work now. You know, it's the same thing now. Command line and
that's what I'm saying. Because when I was installing tkinter, this is where I installed tkinter from this thing command line prompt, and it worked.
Exactly.
Now,
exactly. Further. Further. Are you there? Hello? Can anybody hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. His network is like his network is.
Okay, I think you
running.
can install it in your command line, but when we want to create a visual environment, you can't create it in the command line. You need to create it inside the folder where you are working from. Are you getting me? So you
what of if you
so as
you
now
go to
you've
your
installed
directory,
it inside the command line now, can you try to work with it? Let's just see first.
Yes, you can work with it. It's going to work.
And that's what I'm saying now. So if I install it like this now, it's still going to work.
It's going to work as long as you have Python in your system.
Yes.
It's going to
that's
work.
my
but
question.
my
So
question.
it's still going to work.
Okay, go on.
Yeah, what if you go to the folder from your command line, then you install it on that folder?
No, you are not installing it. It does not. We are installing this it's a Python package. It goes inside the Python.
Well, I thought you said it's not going to work if you are not on that directory.
If you are not
if you are installing it on your command line.
No. If you are installing it on a command line, if you don't have these parts, this part is not going to work. If you don't have these parts in your system, which is this part, you didn't add it as an environment part, it's not going to work. Definitely, it will never work because you need to be on your environment part.
Safe side.
Sorry.
Can you tell us how to add that environment part so we can do it now?
Okay, if you want to add the environment part, it's very simple. Right, I'll read on that. But however, let me add it. Now to do that, look at this part now. I can quickly come here and call Python. So inside this Python, I will check the part where I installed this Python. Okay, probably right click here and or probably right click here or this place anywhere here. I'm trying to see how sorry. I'm trying to see how I can get my Python parts. So Python, all right. Okay, click here and open file location. Right. So this is a file location. In this file location, you can see a part here. Are you sure this is my part? I doubt this is not my part. Let me confirm. Let me confirm this. View open parts. Let me be sure. Okay, that is not my part. So look at my part here. So have you seen my part? So that this other one is shortcut. Don't copy this part. It's a shortcut. So this is shortcut. This is not a main part. So when I click here, you see open file parts. So inside this file part, you see what we call script. So inside this script now, all the package this is where all the package you have installed are. You can see visual environment I just installed now. You can see pip, you can see Django, right? Django admin, which is the command you are going to be using. So look at it here. So now what you are going to do is the first thing is to the first thing you need to do is to go to your Python environment part, right? So let's quickly dive into that. So you need to go inside the Python environment part by searching the name. So we come here, we call a variable, type variable, So this variable, you will see edit the system environment. Click on it, open it, just open it. When you open it, it's going to open a page like this, right? So it's going to open a page like this. So what are you going to do is very simple. You click on the environment variable, right? And when you click on environment variable, you will see what we call paths. Have you seen it? Paths. Right? When you click on that system path, then you click on edit. So when you click on edit, click on add new, right? Then you come back to your Python paths and then copy. When you copy it, come back here, click on new, then paste. So look at the code here, right? Paste. So when you paste it, move it to the top. Let it be the first one you are using. Move it to the top. Let me confirm. Okay. So move it to the top. Or you can even come here and use the script. So you can use this script. So because this is where all the parts are coming from. However, any of them can work for you. So the next thing that you are going to do is very simple. Very, very simple. Then when you add that to the part, what you are going to do next is to come back to that part, bring it to the top, then click OK. When you click OK, this is the part you save, right? Then when you come here, make sure that you're on that part. Look at the place part here. Make sure the part is here. Basically add it here. So this is it. The part is here. Is the first one. Then click OK. You wait for it. Then click save. So if we have added Python to your part. So this is what you need to do before the part will work. So this is it. You can see the part. Have you seen it? So /Python. This will automatically add on its own. So when they come here, you can also, if sometimes it didn't work, you can also come here to enter environment path and find the path. So when you find the path, if you know where Python is located, that file that time where it's located, you can enter, press it and enter, then click on this Python and select interpreter. Have you gotten it? Select interpreter. So if you've done that, that will also work. Then whatever you're installing here or your VS Code will also work for you. But me, I always prefer using this terminal and then or Git patch. But later I will be using Git patch so that it will be very easy for all of us. But I use this terminal. So if you're using Git patch, that means you need to seed into this terminal and be doing everything that you are doing. So if you try to install this thing again, they said you may have installed Python package into a global environment, which can cause conflicting. Would you like to create a video environment? So they asked me to create a video environment, which I said no. Now, if you notice that this thing we try installing now, they're telling us it's already satisfied. Have you seen it? It's already what satisfied. So requirement already satisfied. That means we have already installed this Python in this part, which is the current part where we are. Now, if we come here and say pip list, which is supposed to work. Okay, pip list. So we click on pip list. Have you seen all the packages that we installed? When this package is now, when you call for these packages and their version, you see these packages inside our Python part. So let me show you the Python part. Let me enter that, which is inside this script. You can see all the packages we have installed. You can see this man. You can see this man here. So when you come down here, you will see everything that we've installed so far is here. I hope that is clear. Hello.
Yes, sir, it's clear.
Yeah, but is there a need for us to clear the previous packages we've installed?
No, why are you clearing it?
Okay.
It's not anything clear.
Or maybe not to conflict with the new one.
No, I've already installed environment variable. Now you need to create a environment variable now. So let me quickly clear my terminal. Let me clear. So clear your terminal. No, now normal. So if I want to do this in Git batch, sometimes I prefer using Git batch, Git batch. So I prefer using Git batch to do all these things. It will be more easier for me to be able to control my I'm trying to see I can. So let me try to see I can separate my Python. Okay. So I want to like say I can divide this my Python. All right. So all right. All right. So let me bring this down. So here, what I can do here is that instead of using this man, I prefer using this. So ls, that will see where we are. So I want to cd to, because I am in C, I think I have to call C, right? Okay. C dot and slash, I think so. C dot, is it slash like this? Or slash like this? CD. Okay, CD.
C column.
C column, yeah. Right. So C column will take you to C. So let me clear this also. All right. All right. So PWD. So I'm inside the C. I can see CL. So inside this CL, I have this Python backend. So remember, to see inside this Python backend, you see the pack and Django. So what I'm doing here generally is to just see the inside here and I enter. So I'm inside this folder, right? So this folder I have here, I'm inside this folder, this particular folder. So actually this is where I am, right? And instead of doing it underneath here, you can use this. So apparently this is what I'm going to be using henceforth. But you can also use it on the Django Python terminal. It's also going to work. You can use it on their command prompt. It's also going to work. So if I want to create a visual environment, what I need to do, I've already installed it, which we already checked if it's installed by using a pip list. So the pip list, access denied. Okay, they are not allowing us to use external application to check that, right? You can do that inside your command line pip freeze. Then you also get the same. You also get the same. Result, right? So what I'm going to do here to create my Python environment. So if you come back to where we are before, the documentary we have, they say we need to call a command called visual env. Remember this visual env, we have it in our Python path, which is this man. So whatever you are calling that is not in this Python part will not going to work. If you want to call Django now, Django admin is in a Python part. This thing. So let's go back. Where's our VS Code? So what we are going to do here is we call visual envo according to the keyword that we have in our Python part. Then the name of our environment. I can say what project am I building? I can say training, right? Or you can use V. V. Then you enter. They say command not found. This is not working for me. You can use command line. I think they are not allowing third party or whatever.
Is it not waiting for you to use pip first?
No, you don't need to use pip. You use pip when you want to install something. Are you getting me? You use pip when you want to install something from pip official website. When you want to install something that is not on your environmental variable. So I have it already on my environment variable. Look at it here. Look at it here. So it's not working for me because it's a third party. That's something I would do. I need to do some administrative stuff for it to work. So let me just close it off. You can use a command line if you want. So let's go back to VS Code. Right. So in this VS Code now, if I use visual envo, then I use training and enter. Right. Look at what we are having here. It says check the spelling of the name if the path is verified. Now, if you're having this error, are you getting me? Either you are having path issue, you are having path issue. So this particular error now, if you do this and you are having the error, it means that you're having path issue. Either you need to go and adjust your path for you to work. So whenever you see this error, it means that you're having path issue. But if you come this pip list and enter, it's going to work, right? But when we call that path, it means that our path is not properly configured, right? It is not properly configured, which is not seeing this part. This part is this man here. Visual info, you call it here, then you call the training, enter. It's giving you this error. So this is how you can solve this error. So when you come here again, click here, type Python path, enter, then try to use this part. If it didn't work, try again, visual envo. Instead of typing it again, just click arrow up arrow. If enter, then enter. It's still giving you the same issue. That means we need to work on our visual environment part. So let's go back to our environment. Click on this click on the environment. We all know how to do this. Then click on environment part. So look at the problem we're having here. Our environment is no longer first. It's supposed to be at the first. So this is our environment. We can edit. Okay. This is our environment. And it's the same environment. Okay. Okay, then click on this environment. And then come to this down here. Choose your environment. Right? Choose the environment. Can edit to confirm if that is the environment. Okay. You are choosing wrong environment. So the problem is that we are not choosing the right environment. If you look at this part here, the part inside this man is different. So it's supposed to be in this part. Let me close this and come back again. When you're having such error here, like this red line, what you are going to do to solve this is that when you come to this environment variable, check among this system environment parts. You have this part here already. I've added it already. Then come here and check this part. Edit this part and click on this. Okay. Then okay. Then okay. So let me clear and try it again. The next is to call the virtual environment again, enter. Then we are still having the same issue. We are still having the same error. We are still having the same error. So clear. So let's go back there again. Would I use a different approach? Go back here. So inside this man, not here we are, the place we are before. All right, still copy directly from this script. Let's include this script, this particular part, right? Let's include the part, copy it, and come to your environment. We already have it here. You know how to search for it, right? So come to your environment, then come to new. Okay, sorry, don't need to create new. Come to parts, edit, edit this part, and then paste this here, right? Then apply. So this part is the part we are using, right? Then come to this man. Come to this man here, check the part, then make sure that the script is not here. Edit this part and then add the script there. So make sure it's the same. Move it to the top. Make sure that it's at the top, the first one. Please, always make sure that it's at the first one. Then okay, right? I think everything is good. Then let's save. Right, come back to here and clear again. Let's call the visual info. Then let enter. We are still having the same issue. Visual info is not recognized. Function executable program. If you copy this, it's still the same thing they're going to tell us. Let's come here and try to search this on Google. So it's still the same thing that they're going to tell us. So the same environment issue. People and so so you say they get that whether you said where Django is folder I want to run after running to so before your part you can install your modules. So you can not find part visual in it. So they are recommending we should use Python. This we should use Python minus this and then the name. If you want to use specific version like this, using the Windows first install, you can use Windows. So they said run uninstall and then install this. So they are saying our parts. So we should add this to the parts. This using to make sure that well apparently try to use above. It work only on old version. Run pip uninstall. Right. So some are recommending I should install the pip. However, the problem with this is part issue. I know that we have done everything that we're supposed to do on the parts. So let's check again. Right. Let's try to see that again. Browse. Okay, let's do that manually again. Okay, let's go and copy the parts. We'll read and get rid of the part. All right, so let's go and copy the paths and try to install it here. Okay, let's try to use this path now. Let's use pip. All right. Activating the paths. So let's wait for it to activate the path. I think I'm not really okay. He said invalid Python interpreter. So what we are supposed to select is Python, not the pip. All right, going back there again. Try to put this. So let's go back to Python and then we select Python as executable. Let's try to use visual envo again. So still the same thing. Let's close the VS Code and open it back. Hopefully it will solve the issue, because I know that we are doing the exact thing. I think what actually happened is because I changed my path. That's why I did some adjustment. That's why no, it's not good to always play with your path, because if you play with your path, you're going to get rid of everything. So let's try to enter again. So pip freeze. Okay, so pip freeze is working. So let's try to, I think it should work now. Visual envo. So let's try. Okay. Okay, this work. It worked. So what we need to do to just close our visual environment and then open it back. I think that's what we need to do. So the antivirus is asking you to allow. So let allow. So what you need to do is immediately you change the path, close it and open your visual environment back. So that is it. So you can see our visual environment here that we have created. So if you want to activate that visual environment and you are using Windows, it is different from can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So
Yes, sir.
so what you need to do is close your paths and open it back. Close it and close your VS Code and open it back after you have added your path. So that's what I forgot to do. So the close the VS Code and add it back. It's going to work, right? So this is what we have done. Now we already created the visual environment. Let me explain what is here. This is scripts. It is where inside this script we have what we call activate, right? And we have deactivate. So activate is if you want to activate the visual environment, that means you want to use the visual environment. You can also deactivate to switch to another visual environment. So if you come here and type pip freeze, you can see list of packages that we installed, Django 4, right? Now, if you activate this visual environment, so to activate this visual environment, what you need to do is simple. It's different from Mac OS. Your Mac is different. So for Windows, you call CD, then you call the name of that visual environment, which is what we have here. Make sure that you are inside the folder where you install the visual environment. Then the training, you enter. Then when you enter, inside this, we have script. The script is capital letter, then slash activate. So script slash what activate. So what you need to do, call the script, then slash activate. So this will activate the visual environment for you. So immediately you activate the visual environment, you will see this. Look at it, you will see training. That means we have activated what the visual environment. And if you come here, we are now working in an empty directory. If you do pip freeze, you're not going to show anything. Nothing. You are not going to see anything because we have not installed anything on the visual environment. So it just show you empty, means that there is nothing, that we have not installed anything on that Visual environment. Now everything installed will go inside where we have library. Inside this library package, you see inside the package library. So everything you have installed, you will see it here. Now, if you want to deactivate the Visual environment, you come to this script and look at the command deactivate. So what you need to do is to come here and write to deactivate. Then you have gone out of this Visual environment. Now, if you come here and do pip freeze again, you will see that we are going to see the package that is on our global variable. Do you understand the difference between Visual environment now? So when you create a Visual environment, that means it's an empty. So whatever I want to install, remember we already installed Python here. You cannot install two Python here, it's only one. So we can now create a different Visual environment that we can install different Python version, different Django version. So this is how you can create Visual environment. We've already exceeded our time. So do you guys understand? Hello?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, yes, sir.
So anybody
Yeah,
have any
understood.
question?